Hello, I'm Carol Avard, and I'm going to prepare you for your deposition. Your deposition is the most important part of your case. Many cases are settled after a good deposition. A deposition is not taken in a courtroom. Most often it is taken in a court reporter's private office. However, it is taken under oath, and a lot of what is said at a deposition can be used later at trial. Sometimes your testimony can be used at trial to contradict what you said in your deposition. You are free to take breaks at a deposition and to use the restroom whenever necessary. Attorneys take turns asking questions. If you make a mistake in giving answers to questions, that is only natural to do so. Mistakes are inevitable. But you are free to correct your testimony at a later time during the deposition if you realize you made an error. After the deposition, you can review the transcript and make more corrections. Listen carefully to the questions. If you don't hear the question, ask to have the question repeated. Think about the question before you answer it. Do not guess or speculate about the answers. Answer only as to facts that you have personal knowledge about. Say you are not totally certain if that is the case. Ask for a document if it will make your testimony more accurate. Read any documents given to you very carefully. Take your time. Set your own pace. Do not let anyone rush you. Do not testify to things you assume occurred. Only testify to what you know occurred. Don't try to hide embarrassing facts like getting fired from a job. Do not discuss the facts of your anticipated testimony with anyone else but your attorney, as it may create confusion as to what you actually know. Do not answer with nods or shakes of your head. Do not chew gum. Don't get defensive. Always be courteous. Avoid wisecracking and joking. Don't be reluctant to admit to discussions with your lawyer. There is nothing wrong with that. Your lawyer told you to tell the truth. If you are asked, "Have you told me everything?" just say, "As best as I can recall today." It is important that you dress appropriately. For women, I recommend wearing pearl earrings and a pearl necklace. Wear a very plain blouse and skirt. Avoid loud colors. Look conservative. Curl your hair and wear soft-colored makeup. Do not show cleavage or tattoos. Men should wear preppy clothes. A button-down shirt in a light color, such as blue or pink, and gray or blue pants. Do not wear jewelry. If you do not have any proper clothing, make a trip to Goodwill or a similar store and buy some inexpensive but appropriate clothing. If you are accustomed to using a cane, bring it to the deposition. Be very familiar with your accident report. Read it 3 times. Be familiar with your settlement demand package if this was prepared. Read it 3 times. Read your medical records 3 times. Know the history of your case. Go over any original statements that were made to the police or at an accident scene. Go over any testimony or statements of witnesses. If you need to, you should go back to the scene of the accident to refresh your memory. When asked a question, do not get off the subject. If you do not know the correct answer, say so. If you do not understand the question, say you do not understand the question. If you feel the need to cry, there is nothing wrong with that. Bring Kleenex. You may want to ask if you can take a break if you cannot stop crying. Do not overestimate or underestimate the speed of a car or distance. Just say approximately, unless you are positively sure of the answer. You should also be familiar with and memorize your damages. The amounts will be provided to you by your attorney. Try very hard to answer the questions. While you can say that you don't know the answer, you will look bad if you say that more often than not. You will not look credible if you keep saying you don't know the answers all the time. Counsel for the other side will take advantage of you and suggest that you really know nothing about the facts of your case. Never volunteer information not required by a question, even though you might think it is relevant. Do not ramble on or try to explain your answers. Do not argue with opposing counsel under any circumstances. Always appear to be calm and do not get angry or appear upset. Opposing counsel may try to get you angry, but do not give in to this trick. We have instructed you to tell the truth, and if opposing counsel asks you what instructions you received from your attorney, say you were told to tell the truth. If your attorney objects to a question, do not answer the question until the attorney tells you it is okay to answer. You should know that when your attorney objects to a question, there is a very good reason, and you should try to think about whether your answer is correct or not correct, or whether the question is a trick question. Keep your story simple and do not exaggerate the truth. You may or may not be asked some of the following questions. 1. Military service dates and branch. 2. Education. 3. Work experience for the last 10 years with job titles. Whether or not you were fired from a job. Why were you fired, and what wages you received. Addresses for the last 10 years and who you lived with. Addresses at the time of the accident. What were you doing at the time of the accident? Where were you at the time of the accident? Who were you with at the time of the accident? What did you see just before the accident? When did you last have an alcoholic drink or food? What kind of medications are you on now and then? If it was a car accident, what were the road conditions? If it was a slip and fall case, what substance made it slippery? Describe in great detail, if possible. If it was a medical malpractice case, how do you know the doctor malpracticed? Go over these facts with your attorney. If it was a car accident, describe the weather. Did you wear a seatbelt? If it was a slip and fall case, what kind of shoes did you wear? What is your vision like? Do you wear glasses? Who is your eye doctor? If it was a car accident, where were you sitting? And who owned the vehicle? And what was the speed of that vehicle? Describe the accident as you recall it. And ask your attorney to explain the distances and speed based on the police report and other evidence. Did the police come? What did the defendant do wrong in your own words? What was the traffic like that day? What road signs or lights did you see? What injuries did you sustain? When and where were you treated after the accident? Did you take an ambulance? If you did not get immediate treatment, explain why you did not get that treatment. What medical treatment did you get? Were any x-rays taken? When and where were the x-rays taken? What period of time did you get treatment and from whom? Describe all your symptoms and where you had pain. Describe any cuts, bruises, head injuries. Did you hit your head? Did you have headaches? Describe all of your medical bills. Bring a record of your bills. Did you have any lost earnings? Bring a record of that. What kind of damage to property was done? Bring a record of that. Did you ever have prior injuries before this accident? And if so, when and where? And also, what kind of treatment did you have? Did you recover? How long were you recovered from the prior injuries before this accident happened? Do you have any disabilities that are not related to this accident? Who treated you for those disabilities and when? What symptoms and permanent conditions do you have? How are the injuries from this accident different from any prior injuries? How do the injuries from this accident prevent you from doing your normal daily activities socially, around the house, at work? Do you have injuries that prevent full use of any part of your body, and to what extent? For example, does a back condition prevent you from sitting for 30 minutes? Does a neck condition have pain radiating into an arm and or a hand that prevents you from writing, feeling, or grasping? Do headaches prevent you from concentrating? Does pain prevent you from concentrating on a TV or newspaper for more than 10 minutes? Does knee pain prevent you from walking a block or standing for more than 30 minutes? Do you have scars that are embarrassing? What exactly are your functional limitations? Is your spouse, girlfriend, or boyfriend affected by your injuries? For example, are you no longer able to have sex, no longer able to have a relaxed, comfortable evening together, no longer able to go swimming, boating, whatever you normally do together? Are you no longer able to do household chores for your spouse? If so, name them. Do you take pain medication, and do you have serious side effects from the pain medication? Or does the pain medication only slightly reduce the pain? Describe any permanent injuries. Describe any psychological damage, for example, post-traumatic stress, and are you taking medication for it? Are you no longer able to do your past work or other work 5 days a week, 7 hours a day? Has the doctor restricted your activities? If so, what activities are restricted? For example, no light work, no heavy lifting, etc. Have you paid your taxes in the 7 years before the accident? Do you have copies of your tax returns? Do you have a criminal record? If so, for what reason? Have you been divorced? When and where did it take place? Describe any prior litigation, when it happened and where it happened. Do you have a driver's license? Bring it with you. If you have any additional questions, ask your attorney, and if you need to take a break, you will always have the opportunity to take a break during a deposition. Thank you.